She was playing Candy Crush, and I just
I'm not a phone game person. I don't have any games on my phone, not one.
boo.
Boo.
Slight jump. It was like a very tiny one.
It was there. It was there. Yeah.
It was
You
yeah.
got me a little.
She was looking at her phone. She was playing Candy Crush, and I just
I'm not a phone game person. I don't have any games on my phone, not one.
I have one singular one because it turns my brain off, and the ads are not as egregious. That's not true. I have two games on my phone. I have two games on my
What
phone.
are they?
The
What are
one,
they?
the,
Balatro
one of them is Balatro. I did get Balatro because I had Apple
and
credits. The other one was a
Candy
free
Crush?
game. It's called no, fuck no. The other one is called Block Blast. It's just a hey, here's a block shape, but you put it on a board in a specific place. It's kind of like Tetris, but it's not falling blocks, and it just whatever. It's something to do
Hmm.
to pass the time if I'm just sitting around. So
That's fair. I read.
see, okay, all right. So I'm gonna tell you. I already told Emily this yesterday, but I'm amending my rule a little bit because if I don't, I'll go stir crazy. So I told myself yesterday, okay, I'm gonna finish Project Hail Mary before I start a new game. I
The book
realized
Blake has been reading for about a year now, just for context.
since July, I realized that is not good for my mental health. If I try to just do this nonstop, because as a book, the story is good. Enjoying the story, the action of reading is not great for me. I still don't love it. So I made myself a different deal as of today. 2 chapters a day, and then I can do other stuff. Read 2 chapters,
Yes.
then do other stuff. Versus try to finish this all and then yeah, because that would be a bad
Books
motivator.
books we're gonna struggle if you're gonna be like, I have to finish this all in one go and I have to do it now, or I can't do anything else until I do this.
Yeah,
That's when you're gonna feel like you're being forced into it. You have to start like saying, with bigger books, what I tend to do is like if they're broken up into parts, I'll be like, oh, I'll read this part by this day. And then if I get ahead of it, that makes me feel good. If I don't, I'm on track. But
yeah,
don't try to eat it all at once. Especially if you're getting into reading.
yeah.
Don't
What?
punish yourself like that.
See, here's what I've learned through this experience, and actually sitting down and trying to get this done, is that once again, I have no problems with stories. I really like stories, and I'm really enjoying stories altogether. Like that's one of my favorite things. But it literally is the action of reading that I just don't enjoy. It is the action
Yeah.
itself. So
It's a very quiet, internal, slow process.
and that doesn't tickle the dopamine Blake's brain needs to function.
I do think you chose a slower book to start with. I would still love to hand you a Percy Jackson book and plop that in your hands one day.
We'll see. I'm already being pushed to read Dungeon Crawler Carl, and another non-reader friend of mine says he got through the 7 books in a month. He couldn't put them down. They were
All
that good,
right,
and
then
he's not
try
a reader. We'll see, because I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
I
it's up to
might
you.
try. I might try audiobooks for the 5th time, but I know my brain also wanders, so we'll see. Anywho,
Yeah, just gotta find the method that works best for you. And maybe that's
I'll
not reading.
I'll get through it eventually,
Maybe-
one day at a time. Emily and I have been texting a lot this week. Actually, now that I think about it, BG3, Project Hail Mary, Space Dad Simulator by Capcom.
It's a big week.
It has been. And you guys might be thinking, huh, they usually take 2 weeks to do reviews. Nuh-uh. This game's short. This game was
It was a
very...
Capcom game. It was bound to be.
Well, there are long ones. Like Monster Hunter Stories is apparently like a 40-hour JRPG.
Yeah, 40 hours isn't that long. I say as someone who just sunk 100 hours into Baldur's Gate 3, and that felt never ending.
40 hours is not that. I think 40 hours is about average length. Like,
Yeah, I think that's in the vein of like the mid-sized games we were just asking for.
yeah, I think 40 hours is a good size. And I'm going to talk more about this later. I have nothing wrong with the 12, 13-hour game. I still enjoy it. But there are some games that are 12 to 13 hours that I feel deserve to be longer. We'll talk about that later. We have to talk about other things first. First and foremost is... Wait, what?
No, go ahead.
Oh yeah, first and foremost is she won't be here that way. She will not be here next week.
I will not. I'm leaving tomorrow morning for a work conference in Florida and will not be back. I technically am getting back next Thursday, but my flight is at like 6:45 out of Orlando, so I don't get back to Grand Rapids till almost midnight. No,
Hell yeah,
sorry.
midnight podcast, baby. Let's go.
No.
Uh,
Also, not sure if Blake noticed this on our schedule, but this will be a it will almost feel like a short little break for us because I will not be here next week, so we don't have podcast, and then after that, we officially start our bi-weekly schedule for the summer. If you haven't been around podcast long, Blake and I do not do weekly episodes in the summer just because life gets busy, we have plans, there's fewer games coming out, so our schedule gets a little sparser. So we are switching back to our bi-weekly schedule come May.
so we're taking a 3-week break.
Yeah, so we will be gone for 3 weeks. Honestly, I feel like we should be shifting to seasons. I feel like some podcasts do like seasons and then they take like a 3-week, 1-month break and then they're like, it's a new season. Consider our mid-season break or whatever you want to call it. Normally it wouldn't be this long. It just lined up with when I'm going to Florida, but we will be back in 3 weeks.
We're probably in what, season 5 now then? I would say 5 or 6.
Yeah. I don't know. It depends on how many episodes you put per season.
I have to. If any of you are a fan of Good Mythical Morning on YouTube, it's like their Good Mythical Summer, where they only post 3 days a week versus 5 days a week. Except for us, we skip a week every week. So
yeah, we're just gonna be doing bi-weekly. We've got a lot of summer plans going on. I live in Michigan. The weather sucks in the winter. In the summer, it's beautiful. There's beaches. And so I'm going to be trying to soak up every possible moment of that, which means I'll be too busy to do this every week, guys. I just have a life. Okay?
I'll also be up there one of those weekends. So
yeah.
she'll have to see me.
We'll be a little less frequent on here, but come fall again, we'll be going back to that weekly schedule. This is just a late spring through summer kind of deal.
And yeah, I mean, the reason it happens late spring through summer is because game releases tend to slow down. Game releases are beginning and end of year. So, and that's just how it happens.
So there's not a ton for us to review. Our lives get busy. There's not a lot going on in the gaming world aside from sometimes the summer shows that happen, Summer Game Fest. Obviously, we'll be covering stuff like that. And I think one of our first podcasts back, I will actually be reviewing Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, which I will be playing with one of my best friends in May.
I forgot and that then comes we'll be out.
Yep, and that comes out May 23rd or something, somewhere along those lines. So I'm going to be playing that with a close friend of mine, and then Blake and I will also be doing 007 First Light, which also comes out at the end of May. So when we come back, won't be the first week we'll come back, but pretty shortly after we'll be having some fun game reviews to talk about. We have some today, too.
Yeah, I think other than 007 First Light, my next review game doesn't come out until August 4th. And that's Beast of Reincarnation. And then after that, last minute edition. Earlier this year, part of my backlog was playing Trails in Sky First Chapter. The second chapter remake comes out in September. The date was officially announced, and it's pre-ordered and going to come to my house. So that'll be another review. But we'll talk all about that later. Future things coming.
I'm looking for... Oh my gosh, how did I miss this? Actually, can I talk about a piece of news?
Okay, hold on. It depends if it's on my list yet or not. But you know what? Let's talk about backlog stuff real quick, and then we'll talk about news, and I'll let you go first. How about that? Wait,
let's do news first, because when we do backlog, I do want to do my quick Baldur's Gate review.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
So that might take a little longer. And I don't care if this is already on your news list. I'm the one who should get to announce this news.
Okay.
I don't know when this was announced, because I've been pretty vigilant. It looks like within today, even, that it was announced. I'm seeing articles from 2 hours ago, 8 hours ago, 8 hours ago. The Black Flag remake has been officially announced and given a release date of July 9th, 2026, everybody.
Wait,
so we'll be getting that.
I haven't even seen that.
In just a couple months. The original speculations, if you remember, I was talking about this a lot last year. I expected there to be a big announcement at the Game Awards at the end of the year, and there wasn't. So if you've been keeping up with that, the original speculation date was March 23rd. And then stuff got pushed back, and so now it looks like it's coming out July 9th, so expect a review for that. I have never played Black Flag, not the original, and once I heard a remake was coming, I've held off on playing the original so I can play the remake, so expect Expect a review, guys. Oh my gosh, this looks so good.
Black Flag is one of my top Assassin's Creed games, and
Oh, it looks
the last one I
beautiful.
enjoyed before I quit, before I quit, and then came
Oh,
back later.
are you gonna play this?
Yeah, I'm absolutely gonna play this. It was like I just said, it was one of my favorite ones. What?
Well, you've never, in all the time I've been talking, you have never been like, oh yes, I can't wait for that to come out.
Oh yeah, because I mean, I'm excited for you because you've never played Black Flag. But technically, I've already played Black Flag
No,
way
but it's like
back
you're playing it again. It's like a new
15 years
game.
ago. Yeah, I mean, it's been like 15 or so years, so like, it's time. I'm
Oh,
willing to do it, but
this looks so great. I'm so excited. Oh, you can swim underwater. I don't know if that was always a thing, but
pretty
that
sure it
looks like
was.
it's in the vein of the underwater quests from Odyssey and Origins.
You said July
Oh,
11th?
July 9th. That's
Yeah.
so soon.
Happy
Oh, I'm so
birthday,
excited. Happy birthday to me. There's a new weather system. Oh yeah, upgraded underwater exploration system. So
Yep.
that's new. Um, yeah, the thing about this that's only a bit of a bummer that I might have to actually Google some footage of is that they're scrapping the future plots. I heard that, so they're not going to have any of the modern day plot to this game. I don't think it was quite as prevalent in Black Flag and post games as it was in the first three, obviously, since Desmond dies at the end of Assassin's Creed 3. But I know there's a little bit. There's some in
Yes.
Syndicate as well. So I might have to look up those cutscenes if
It's
they
a
don't
little.
have it in this game, which is a bit of a bummer.
There's a
But
little bit in Odyssey too. Black Flag. I think when Black Flag started, the future timeline stuff really mattered less and less, and they just throw it in there just cause. Like once Desmond
yeah.
died, it's like there's no point anymore. But I digress.
Well, because Desmond was a central character who kept the storyline going, and then after Desmond, they kind of gave up on the storyline.
Yep.
And I feel like if they had committed to the storyline going on without Desmond, they would have been fine. But they stopped making the future plot interactable, and it just became these weird cutscenes. And then you kind of became a self-insert character. They just didn't really know what to do with it. And then they tried to go back to the Desmond direction with Layla, but she didn't really click as much. Sorry, I'm texting the world about.
She just saw it like as podcast was already going. Like she
Well,
just
so
saw this.
right before podcast started, I opened my phone and I saw somebody say like, "Here's everything we know about Black Flag Remake," and I was like, "Oh yeah, I kind of forgot about that. Did we find out anything new?" So while you were talking, I was like, "I should look that up," and I was like, "Oh,
Yep. There it is.
this looks beautiful. I'm very excited for this. So expect, probably late July, early August review because if it comes out July 9th. It will take me a while to play, and also I will be going on a 30th birthday trip in July. I'll be gone for a chunk of that month.
Oh, I mean, yeah, because she's turning 30. Ha 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 ha. Old,
Oh.
old.
You can come to my birthday party, Blake?
I wasn't invited, so I don't know.
I don't have a party planned.
Oh, see? Rude. Yeah, Black Flag Remake coming out July 9th. Crazy. It's finally about time. Moving right along. Speaking of Ubisoft, but not quite Ubisoft, the last Game of the Year awards finally happened this past weekend. The BAFTA
Oh,
awards.
yes.
And Claire Obscure, of course, it has all the Game of the Year award Infinity Stones. It won every single one. What a surprise!
Jennifer English also won Best Voice Actress, so good for her. I've been getting a lot more of her now that I've been playing Baldur's Gate 3. So,
Yeah, crazy. You've played 2 games with her in it where her hair turns blonde towards the end.
yeah, not even blonde, just straight up white in both games.
Straight up white. And she won both. I think she won Best Actress in both for both of them for both performances.
Yeah,
So like,
she did. She's doing great.
If you have Jennifer English and her hair turning white, then you're gonna win Game of the Year. That's just the
A
rules.
recipe for success.
I don't. And Ben Starr sometimes.
If I had a nickel for every time Jennifer English voice acted in a game where her character's hair turns white near the end and then it won Game of the Year, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a
Just
lot.
a lot.
That it happened twice.
Oh man. Moving right along, this one affects us less, but it's still important. Xbox Game Pass prices are going down under the new CEO. Hooray! Yay!
Yay!
There's a catch, but it's a catch that I don't care about. The catch is not ads. That's a good not catch, that it's not ads. The catch is that Activision games are not going to be in their day one. Your Call of Duties are not going to be in their game day one.
Oh no! What will I do now
Boo-hoo.
with Call of Duty?
You're gonna be
Oh, I
fine.
hear men call me slurs on the internet.
Like, you're gonna be fine. Like, jeez. So, Game Pass Ultimate will be going down from $30 a month to $23. PC only will be going down to $13.99, and which it was $17 before. I think console is the same.
This is great.
Yeah. I'm happy.
Netflix, take note.
Yeah, I'm happy for you, Game Pass players. Phil Spencer, wherever you are, I don't know what your decision was when you made those prices go up to, like super high points. But if ads ever show up in Game Pass, then I'm gonna be like, yep, this tracks. This is what I expected to happen. So, anywho, moving on. This is more for people who have seen the Super Mario Galaxy movie. If you've not seen the Super Mario Galaxy movie, skip ahead like a minute or two.
Tune out. Cover your ears.
Yeah. Nintendo has said that they will stick to the new backstory that was added in the movie about Princess Peach being Rosalina's sister, younger sister. Because if whoever has played Galaxy, this has never been canon before. I even sat back in the theater. I'm like, do I just not remember this happening? And no, this is new information.
It's just new things.
It's a new thing they added, which it has massive implications. And I text Emily as soon as like she hadn't seen it yet. I'm like, you need to see what they did. And then she had no reaction to it like I did. But I had a big reaction to it.
Big feelings about it. And I say this, Nintendo is not a game company I take seriously when it comes to lore and canon. And that's because in my experience, Nintendo loves to pull things out and be like, look at this. Peach. And then be like, wasn't that fun? You didn't see that. They're just friends. Well, why would you think they were married? It loves to put out Zelda games and be like, those don't count. It loves to create intricate timelines and then be like, those aren't real.
We made it up.
It's just like everything from game to game makes up its own lore and its own canon. And then Nintendo says some things count and some things don't. So, I mean, I think it's neat that they're siblings, but it doesn't make me go, whoa, that's crazy, because tomorrow they could tell me that they're not.
Someone correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I think technically the only one that is consistent and has deep lore is Metroid. Is the only one that has consistencies in deep lore and all that. Like, that all connects.
It's just like they make stuff up. Like, even, what was it? Not Age of Calamity. Not the one that just... No, was it Age of Calamity? First Hyrule Warriors. Yeah.
Oh, no. That's the second... Not the first one. That's not the first one. Age of Calamity is the one that goes with Tears of the Kingdom. No.
What's the first one? No, Age of Imprisonment is the one that goes with Tears of the Kingdom. Age of Calamity
are three. There's Hyrule Warriors, which is the first one. Yeah, and then Age of Calamity is the second one that goes with Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, I remember they made Age of Calamity, and they were like, none of this is canon, so don't act like it is. And then they came out with Age of Imprisonment, and they're like, this is canon, though. So
this happened.
I feel like that sums up Nintendo pretty well, and that's why anytime they drop lore, I'm just like, all right.
I think it's also interesting because I don't play Mario games for the story. I play Mario games for the Yahoo and the jumping mechanic.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see how this goes.
I mean, they also made Birdo. I mean, she could be this. Somebody told me she was this in one of the original games, but she also like lives and works in a casino in this game. With the bad guy. So like, on her days off, she's playing tennis with the gang. Like, nothing about the Mario lore makes sense. They all apparently spend every single day of their lives driving go-karts, and then the next day they go play tennis, and then the next day they play golf, and then the next day they beat each other up. and they just keep doing that. So what's the
the
lore here?
the neat thing about the casino scene is they did bring back Blarg, which I never thought they would do. He's from Super Mario Bros. 2, the second 2D game, which is technically stolen from a game called Doki Doki Panic, which was the original game. And then Nintendo said, no, make that into a Mario game. So we would not have had Birdo if that had not happened. We would not have Blarg, but we never saw Blarg again until now. So Blarg's the giant, like, crocodile thing.
I actually thought it was King Croc from Donkey Kong the first second he was on screen, and I was like, no, that's not him. But
Nope,
I was like,
that's
oh,
Blarg.
another Donkey Kong reference, and it was not.
It was
Is that his name, King Croc?
no, it's not. It's oh crap!
What's his
I
name?
can't
Gator?
Donkey Kong alligator. It's King K. Rool.
Okay, I was pretty close. King Croc.
Yeah, you
King
were
K.
close.
King Croc. That's pretty close.
I knew what you were talking about. Is all that matters.
Anyway, moral of the story being is that this movie also shows Yoshi's origin story, and apparently he lived in New York and destroyed something at a very priceless museum. So again, like that Nintendo could look me in the eye and be like, Yoshi actually can speak in sentences. He just chooses to say Yoshi because that's all he wants to say, and I'd believe it and be like, all right, that's nice.
Moving right along, and this is our big story of the day. This is the biggest story of the day, and this is like very good, impactful for everybody. I know we've kind of touched on this before, but never really gone into full detail. There's this one YouTuber who started this initiative called Stop Killing Games. And due to people like Pirate Software, may he rest in hell, because everyone has bullied him off the internet for things like this. It did not really pass in the U.S., but the guy who created it is pushing in the EU. What Stop Killing Games does, essentially, let's say you have an online-only game. His example is The Crew 2. More in line for us is probably something like Fall Guys. Those servers go offline, right?
That can no longer play the game.
Right. And so all that Stop Killing Games says is, hey, we're not asking you to keep these servers alive, but we're saying when they go offline, put the servers in the hands of the fans so we can keep these things, especially things we paid for, running.
Yeah.
Like, make them fan run, make it to where they can keep running. And the EU, as of, I think, yesterday, sat with him, and he did his whole spiel, and they're all, like, on board so far. Everyone who was sitting there in the EU Parliament, everyone's like, this makes sense to us. The ruling is not until June. But we're pretty sure that this is going to go
Can you pull up the article?
Yeah. Oh, it's right here. Sorry, I didn't move it over. Yeah, so the
you were building up anticipation, and then you got far enough in the story that I was like, I actually would like to see.
Yes. I found it was hard to find the video that I saw earlier because I saw them talking, but so I don't have that, but I do have at least this, because the initial ruling and response will be in June, and this will be a huge deal if this goes through, because
I feel like. Oh no, go ahead.
Yeah, what we've learned, if we've learned anything, if the EU passes something, it has to go everywhere. Prime example, your iPhone would not have a USB-C cable if it wasn't for the EU Parliament, and now everybody has the same charging cable. So
that was a pain in the butt.
Shout out, it was a pain in the butt for everybody, and now everyone has the universal connector. So shout out.
No, it was a pain in the butt when they changed it.
But
the change was a pain.
The change was important. You have to at least recognize that.
I do. I think, okay, I don't want to sound like video gamers are victims here, but I do think because video games tend to be not quite recognized in the way that movies and TV shows and ownership and all that, I do think there's been a little bit more leeway in terms of how video game corporations, how consoles, basically how they can get away with kind of this stuff with making you pay for a product and then rescinding the product after they stop supporting it. I just don't think that kind of thing would fly in more mainstream media. And I think because video games are considered their own little niche, they're often a little bit of a corner. People don't pay attention. I feel like Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft, who have had their run of things, have been able to get away with a lot more. And so I think this is good that it's kind of being brought to the forefront.
And I think, honestly, I think games are more in the mainstream, like movies and music, as of since 2020. I think 2020 really allow them to come to the limelight and shine more. If it wasn't for COVID, we probably would not have had a massive explosion and resurgence like we've had.
Yeah.
So
COVID and Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Did a lot of it.
Yeah, they did.
Hey, speaking of, where is it, Nintendo?
Oh my god. Where's that? Where's my Zelda game? Where's my 3D Mario game?
Where are they? It's weird. It's the 40th anniversary for both of these big, series, these big IPs. And it's April. We haven't had a real Nintendo Direct since when, Blake? When was a first-party Nintendo Direct?
February.
Are you sure? I thought that was the partner showcase.
I don't remember. It's been so long.
I thought we had a partner showcase in February and then like an indie showcase
We've had March. A Pokemon showcase.
That's a specific game.
I know. I don't remember. Oh shit.
When was the last first-party Nintendo Direct?
Oh my god. It was February, was it not?
I swear February was the partner show. Yeah, February was the 2026 partner showcase. We have not had a direct this year. We have not had a first-party direct in the year 2026, and it is now almost May.
Okay, yes, partner. Kirby Air Riders Direct was October. It has not. It's been September of last year.
September, guys. Like, where is Nintendo? Where are they?
They just dropped a console, actually. Yeah, what are they doing?
Like, they dropped a console, and, like, they're dropping games for it every now and again. But for the most part, they dropped the console, and then they disappeared. They have not done a first-party direct since September. They have not talked about anything for Mario's 40th. They've not talked about anything for Zelda's 40th. They haven't mentioned anything related to Animal Crossing. And then some, like, my friend the other day was like, so when are you finally going to buy your Switch 2? And I was like, I don't know. Is it worth it? Do they have anything for me?
Oh no!
Like, why would I buy a Switch 2 at this point in time? I'm gonna wait for the. People keep asking. I keep saying I'm gonna wait for the next Nintendo Direct, and I haven't gotten it yet. It's been September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. It's been like 7.5 months.
It's almost a baby. So Nintendo, where you at? Nintendo, what are you doing, baby?
Speak up. Speak up.
I am going to take it a step further, what you said about, the 40th anniversary for Mario and Zelda, and also it's been since 2020, since Animal Crossing. This year is the 30th year anniversary for the Persona series. We haven't had a Persona game, and yes, if you don't count Royal, which I don't think you should because it's just a buff up of the main game, we haven't had a new Persona game since 2017. Technically 2016 in Japan.
That is crazy. I will say, I'm going to be a hater for a quick second, and I hate to do this to you.
Oh my god.
I just finished a 100-hour turn-based game, and I still have to play Persona 3 and Persona 4. So, actually, Atlas, you have time. Persona 6 can wait a little bit.
You don't have time. Ignore her. She doesn't matter. She doesn't mean...
You have time. I have so many of your games on my backlog still, and now Blake's added Metaphor ReFantazio. So... You have time.
I have. I'm the villain here. Okay.
100 games.
Okay, we gotta get to topic. So real quick, we're gonna talk about backlog. I'll go first because Emily's gonna spend 10 minutes to talk about her backlog. But I'm gonna quickly talk about what I've done. I talked last week. I finished Like a Dragon. We already knew this. Pragmata released Friday. I finished it. We're here for the review. Great. Okay. We know about that. On stream last night, I started, and shout out Casey for gifting this to me on Steam. I started Retro Rewind Video Store Simulator. It's like the Blockbuster simulator. I had,
Is it a horror game?
No. It's a simulator game. Somehow it's the best simulator game I've ever played. I could have. You're running a video store essentially, but like. There's something about it, something so charming about this simulator that I didn't want to stop. You're checking people out, you're doing movie returns, you're charging late fees, you're putting things on the shelf. It sounds simple.
And nobody stalks you and tries to murder you?
There is a back alley seller where you can buy bootleg VHSs.
I just like, literally, I've played and seen so many indie horror games that I was like, I work at a video store, someone keeps returning scary movies, and then eventually someone kidnaps me or tries to murder me. I work at a gas station alone at night, someone keeps driving by and looking in the windows. I work at a coffee shop and someone keeps staring at me through the windows. Like, I work at so and so and something creepy starts to build up and happen. It's just such a specific horror genre. I actually can't conceptualize this game if you're telling me nobody tries to kill you in the end.
I will say this, like, moral of the story is I had my wittiest moment ever playing this game.
Oh.
I think this is one of the most clever, and it's not even that clever. I just thought
That's
it
a
was
hard
clever
bar.
in the moment. Okay. What is the most popular video rental store of all time that is now gone?
Blockbuster?
Blockbuster. Great.
Actually, if you ask me, it was Hollywood Video.
We didn't have that. Well, no, we did have one or two, but no one went there. But anyway, Blockbuster, probably the most recognizable. So at the beginning of the game, you get to name your video store, right? I name it Blakebuster because it just has to be. Like, it just has to be.
Aww, that's such a dad joke.
My God, tell me I'm wrong, though. What else was it supposed to be? My name is
No,
only
that's
two.
really good. That is a very good pun. 10 out of 10. I'm
Thank
not trying to
you.
say it's your wittiest moment because you've been pretty witty.
It's not my wittiest, but I was very proud of it last night.
But it's very funny. It's a very good pun. 10 out of
worked.
10 title.
Yeah. The game is wonderful, and I'm having a good time. Other than that, I started the Atelier series today, and it's a series of cozy JRPGs. They get nothing but praise, and they release them every couple of years. So I'm finally going to jump into the series, see what it's about, see if I
What
like
series
it.
is this?
Atelier. They're
Clear?
I've always pronounced it Atelier, but as I started the game today, it said, "Oh, the Atelier." I'm like, I don't know if that's correct.
I really thought it was Atelier.
I still think it is. I think that the English translation. This is the only game that they had English. Out of all of them, this is the only one that has English voice acting. The rest are like, we're never doing this again. We're keeping Japanese voice actors, which fine. And they keep saying Atelier. I'm like, that does not sound right.
That sounds like an English person who wasn't taught how to pronounce the things in the video game or the Japanese words.
Okay, great. Then I'm not insane when I say Atelier. Great.
It actually sounds like a French word, Atelier.
I mean, it's a game about alchemy, and the atelier is where you are, where your cauldron is, and you do all your alchemy stuff.
I don't know alchemy, so maybe we're wrong. Who knows?
I don't either. I thought I was crazy, but I'm glad I'm not the only person who thought that was wrong. If you want to ever make fun of me, the first time I read the word decal, I used to call it a decal. So, and I was made fun of for
I
it.
thought puny was punny when I was a kid.
I get that one, though. I get that one. Punny. Other than that, I'm reading a book. I'm going to finish this so I can go watch the movie, so Emily and my coworkers will stop bothering me, and then Cassandra can push me even further. Cassandra, my coworkers, my wife, and Chungo can push me to read Dungeon Crawler Carl, which is... You're asking me to read 7 books? God help you.
You don't have to read all 7. You can probably just read one, and if you don't like it, you don't have to read it anymore.
Oh, I know. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't continue. But, like, apparently the 8th book comes out next month or the month after.
I'm going to push Percy Jackson into your hands.
Oh, my God. Well, Emily's turn. She finished a big one. She finished a real big one. Finished a real big
one, guys. It took forever.
It took 100 hours.
I finally beat Baldur's Gate 3.
Woo!
It took me like 2 years. No, really, I didn't start it until like March, but it took over 100 hours. So let's just talk about some of my thoughts about this game because it was a really big one and it won Game of the Year in 2023. So obviously, it had a lot of hype to live up to, and did it live up to that hype? Yeah, for the most part, I would say. You're catching me at the tail end of a 100-hour experience, so I'm a little weary. I'm a little tired. So I might not be as enthusiastic as I might have been if you had asked me 40 hours into this experience how it was going. Here's the thing that I'll say. I love how this game feels like classic D&D. If you were here maybe a month or so ago when Blake and I talked about hub worlds, one of the hub worlds I listed was actually the hub world for Dungeons & Dragons Online. My friends and I used to play that a lot when I was a kid. And the narration style, the rolling of the dice, the enemies, they all felt very nostalgic to me, even though it was a new game. The kobolds, it was all just, it felt like being back in that again. And that I loved, going through the world, exploring, seeing everything. I also love the freedom of choice in this game. I love how many different possible options there are, especially in the dialogue. It really feels like they included everything that you could possibly do. And I think that's just incredible. I think when you build a huge game like this and an RPG in this way, and you allow that level of customization, that's what I was looking for. Nobody's gonna have the same experience, and I think that's so fun. I love talking with people who played the game or reading on forums about it. Everyone's like, "I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know you could do that." I also do like that it introduces this timed element in a sense of certain things, like, well, if somebody tells you somebody's being killed over there, and then you sleep for 2 weeks, that person's dead. Sorry, you've missed that opportunity. And I appreciate that because it doesn't put too much urgency on you, but it lets you know, like, sometimes you do need to go do things right away, and you are going to miss stuff because that's just the way the world works. And if you're busy doing something else, you can't do something else. I really enjoyed that. I liked most of the characters. Shout out to Karlak, who is the best in the whole party. That's my girl. Love her very much. I don't think I really connected, maybe aside from Karlak, with any of the characters or companions the way I did in Mass Effect. None of them really inspired me to be like, oh, I love you so much, you're my favorite. Just the way any character in Mass Effect did. But I liked them for the most part. I don't think there was anyone I really disliked. Didn't have any deep opinions or feelings. I did really like getting to see all my allies in the end. I will say my biggest complaint probably is that from what I understand about the creation of the game, Act 1 was put out into early playtesting for a long time, and it was in that early access phase for a really extended period of time. They got a lot of feedback, they made a lot of changes. It seems like they spent a great deal of time fleshing out Act 1, and you could feel that. You could feel how just immersive the world in Act 1 was, how many choices there were, so many conversations with your companions, so many cutscenes. When you beat Act 1, you save the Grove, you get this fun party. You never really get that again in the rest of the game. Act 2 didn't feel very fleshed out, it was pretty short. And then you get to Act 3, and Act 3 is like a 50-hour experience. But despite how much they put in that act to do, the other aspect of it, the companion socialization, the companion choices, the cutscenes were fairly non-existent. I'm pretty sure Halson, who I actually romanced, was still saying the same thing to me at the end of Act 3 as he was mid-Act 2. Act 2, I'd be like, hey, what's your estimation of me? And he would spew out this vague dialogue. And then when I would talk to him in Act 3 at the end of the game, he still spewed out that vague dialogue. And that was pretty much the companions. You stopped getting these fun moments with them. You stopped really getting fun dialogue or being able to have these funny conversations with them. These random acts, things happening at camp didn't really go on anymore. And it kind of felt like the further I got into the game, the more tired I got, but also maybe the more tired the devs got. And they were like, yeah, just throw something in there. And it was a bummer. So by the time I got to the end, I was kind of over it because it was such a long game and it wasn't like I was getting new content anymore. My companions weren't saying anything new to me. And then even when I thought there would be kind of like okay, we're preparing for the final fight. Let's have one last night, say goodbye to all your allies, have these last moments with them. You didn't get anything like that. You just went. You didn't get a nice, like, I hope we both survive this. Let's make it to the other side. I'll be with you. That was a bummer. There was just a lot of stuff of, like, the socialization and the companions and whatnot that I felt could have been built on in Act 3. And I feel like they really missed a lot of opportunity for that.
My whole thing with Baldur's Gate 3 is that, like, the story is decent. The character development is decent. But, like, the whole point of it is not to focus on those things, but it's to focus on how you shape everything and you change everything, which I think is just a turnoff for both you and I. versus having a solid foundation of like character growth
No.
and relationships and then story building. Though the choices is nice to have, but
I like the choices. I like doing that.
yeah,
But they had those moments in Act One, is what I'm saying. Like, you could go to bed and, like, after you go to bed, you get a cutscene in the middle of the night because a devil has appeared at your camp and now this is happening. Or somebody has attacked your campsite in the middle of the night. Or this companion wants to. Gail asked me to talk to him in the middle of the night once and was like, let's hang out. I want to tell you about these feelings and thoughts I'm having. I was like, okay, great. I never got that moment with another companion. In fact, there was even one moment where. Oh, where Will, I solved his personal quest line. We did whatever we were supposed to do. He was so excited. And he was like, let's have a party tonight. He's like, I'll get this, you get this. Like, go ask everybody else and we'll throw a party. And I was like, okay, cool, finally. We haven't gotten one of these get-togethers or cutscenes since early Act 1. Like, super excited. Went to bed, nothing. I was like, did I miss it? I Googled it. And they're like, no, that's not a real thing. He just mentions having a party, but they don't actually have the party.
yeah.
But they're
Continue.
capable. Anyway, those are my thoughts. I really liked it, but I think it dragged a little too long, and I think the devs gave up a little in the later half. I will also say it was a pretty buggy experience. I had a lot of bugs,
Yeah.
a lot of issues, a lot of like it's highlighting the wrong thing, a lot of me trying to use a magic spell and my buttons not working. Not even in the sense that like I was doing something wrong, but like literally I would click the button and nothing would register. A lot of times where I would load a screen and it would just be black and I'd have to like reload the page or something like that. So there were a number of bugs.
Yeah,
Nothing game breaking.
this game wasn't designed for console. And you can tell, like this game was designed to be a PC game first and foremost, and then console
Probably,
was
yeah.
secondary thought.
So in the end, I liked it, but I think if they had fleshed out Act 3 the way they fleshed out Act 1, I think this game could have been exceptional. I think it's a great game. I think it could have been exceptional.
Do you think it still deserved Game of the Year?
It was up against that year. Resident Evil 4.
2023.
It was Resident Evil 4 Remake.
Nope, that was the year after. It
No,
was
Resident Evil 4 Remake was 2023.
Oh no, you're right. Okay, so Alan Wake
That's like
2.
about when my Resident Evils came out.
Alan Wake 2, Tears of the Kingdom, RE4, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Baldur's Gate 3, Spider-Man 2.
I
know it's not
would still
Spider-Man
say
2.
go to Baldur's Gate 3. I like Tears of the Kingdom. I think is maybe also very good, but the story in Baldur's Gate 3 is very exceptional. I think Baldur's Gate was revolutionary and very creative in all the choice-based things it has. I just think, and Act 1, exceptional. I just think by the time you get to the end of Act 3, it feels like you're kind of just moving to the sake to get to the end. It doesn't feel like you're actually making progress. Even when I completed all my companions' big game-long quests, when I finally free Asterion, I don't get a cutscene with him. I don't get to have these quiet moments with him and talk about it. I get a little note from him at camp where he's like, oh, that was nice. Glad we did that. And then we move on, and it's like, it didn't feel as rewarding. And so by the time I got to the end of the game and I was saying goodbye to everyone and I was doing it, I was a little emotional, but Mass Effect 3, when I said goodbye to Garrus, sobbed. Sat up at like 12:30 at night, staring at the screen, sobbing because Garrus was making me cry. And I was like, this is so powerful, so emotional. And I finished that game and I was like, oh, can't wait to start again. Start that series over again. Could never put it down. This one I finished and I was like, thank goodness.
I have to go ban a bot real quick. Continue while I'm doing that.
That's it. That's all I have to say. I didn't want to go super long and you have to talk about Pragmata. So that's it. I liked it. I think it was a great game. I think I probably will replay chunks of it at least. I don't know that I'll do another full playthrough at any point, but there are some choices that I want to see out.
Where's that bot? I can't ban the bot. You might have to ban the bot.
Yeah.
I know. Oh, I'm not logged in, and it's not showing me the chat, so you're gonna have to ban the bot. Thank you.
I get it.
Okay, cool,
Main
guys.
story.
Space Dad Simulator 2026. Capcom's Pragmata finally came out.
Well, second Dad Simulator.
Oh yeah, of the year. Capcom's second Dad Simulator of the year because Emily
Second Parent Simulator of the year.
from Capcom. Because in like I've heard Emily is like a character in RE9 that you parent, kind of.
Yes, she's also a small blonde child
That's
that
right.
you parent through Resident Evil. So this is the second Capcom game of the year where you are a parent to a small blonde child. I would just say like Diana is sci-fi version and Emily is like medieval, a
Horror.
Victorian child.
Terrifying child. So Pragmata, you are Hugh Williams. You are coming from Earth on your little ship, going to the moon. On the moon, there is a giant space station. Right. By the way, this is going to be mostly spoiler free. I'm just talking about the beginning sections. Not going to go over what happens everywhere. Just mainly the beginning sections and set the stage. So yeah, Hugh Williams and his crew are on this ship going to the moon. This massive base. Which is also doubles as a massive 3D printer. So what they've discovered on the moon is this filament, this special material called lumen, right? And this can be used to 3D print essentially anything in like the blink of
Is
an
the
eye.
child 3D printed?
We'll talk about that. Hold on. So, yes, this material can 3D print pretty much anything. And so the base, if something happens to it, for the most part, it repairs itself. This giant thing comes out and it does it. And they have all these mini 3D printers throughout. And these 3D printers are used to print, robots to help you with specific things or items you may need to fix a thing or whatever. It can be used to print literally almost anything. I think food is off the table, for example. But I digress.
When am I going to be able to live on my Spy Kids stream of putting like a food packet in a thing and out comes food?
What the fuck, Emily?
Have you not seen Spy Kids?
No, I have. I have, but where's this coming from?
Because you said you could 3D print everything but food.
It's the first Spy Kids where you just put a
Why
piece
is our
of
food
paper.
technology so behind where Spy Kids said it would be at this point?
You just put a piece of paper in the microwave and you press a button and it's there.
Even in your future sci-fi game, you can't do that. I'm just saying, like, we're making strides in everything but food.
They haven't talked about food in this game,
Those
to be
some
fair.
people are going to be real before that food technology
You know what space sci-fi thing talks a lot about food, apparently? This fucking book. This book talks about food a lot.
You gotta worry about what to eat.
And how Rocky eats. I digress.
Yeah, that's funny.
Anywho, so yes, you and the crew make it to this space station. The reason you're going is Earth essentially got an alert. The space station was created and humans are running it, but the goal is to have their man-made built AI run the whole facility to be able to print what Earth needs, send it to Earth, etc. But they got notification, hey, the AI is not really responding to anybody. Can someone come up here and take a look and fix this for us? So Hugh and the crew go up. The AI is not responding when they get there, so it's not helping the port. No big deal. They manually port. But they get off and nobody's around. They're like, hey, no one's coming to welcome us. Yeah, they know we're here, etc., etc. But no one's helping us. Okay, we're gonna just walk into the main area and we'll figure it out. But on their way, they're like, oh, this whole room is wrecked. There's debris in our way. We can't get out of the way. Oh, that's fine. We'll 3D print a robot to get the debris out of the way, which they do. And then it gets the debris out and they start walking and all of a sudden they feel a shake. Like the whole station starts to shake. A shutter opens. 3 of the members of your crew get sucked through that window, instantly die.
Yeah.
And it's just you and your captain. All of a sudden the floor collapses. Captain's dead. And Hugh is falling down into this like other part of the space station, completely damaged. Like his suit is damaged and everything. In this beginning section, before we get to that, you get to learn a little bit about Hugh as he's talking to his crewmates. He mentions things as he's a single man. He's not married. He has no children. He has no interest in ever having children. Right. You also learn that he
has no interest in having children. I wonder how that will work out for him.
He has no interest in having
somebody handed him a child.
A child. He has no interest in having children. He's also incredibly anti-bot. He hates robots. And he says it so much from the beginning that he doesn't like robots, but he understands why he's doing this. He's getting paid to do this. Overall, he's just a good dude. He's a very artistic guy who just wants to go home, go to the beach, and be able to paint on the beach. That's what he likes to do in his spare
So
time.
why is he in space then?
This is his job. It's his job to go, and he works for the space station. And then when they
Interesting choice of job when you don't want to be doing that. Okay.
Oh, he didn't want to deal with the bots. I don't think this is his first time going to the space station. He's never been here before.
Okay.
So, anyways, like I said, everything starts to shake. Hugh falls. He is injured, and his suit is damaged. So the suit normally can like help patch him up because space sci-fi games and books and everything says the suit can heal you for some reason.
Yeah.
And enter Diana. Actually, designation DI03367. That's her name. That's her.
It's embarrassing that you remembered that.
I didn't. I've looked it up.
Okay.
If you want evidence, here it is. I have it up right here on purpose because I did not have that memorized.
I was like, that's a flag. I was like, that's a little bit of a beige to yellow flag that you remembered that.
No. There was no way in hell I'd remember that.
Hey, quick side note, have you seen The Wild Robot?
No, I've heard it's good though.
You and Ashlyn should watch that. Sorry, the robot also has a name like that where they're like, my name is whatever, the number, blah, 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 blah. Sorry, that just made me think of it, but add that to your list.
God damn it, I have a whole list of friend recommendations and I'm behind because you guys keep giving me shit.
Besides, I have an actual, our friend group here has an actual spreadsheet, like an Excel spreadsheet of every recommendation.
That's what I need. That's what I need, a Google form that people just submit to. And I'm going to veto things as I go. Diana shows up and has, see Hugh is injured, is identifying what's wrong, instantly grabs this little 3D printer healing thing and fixes up his suit. Suit heals him, gives him oxygen, wakes him up. And it's quick. Like, Hugh's automatically awake. Okay, who are you? Not really a babysitter. Thinks this is still a child. Does not realize that this is what they call a Pragmata. It's essentially an android, right? With special hacking abilities. All of a sudden, the robots start to turn. One robot in the room is starting to turn and trying to kill Hugh. And the child is like, no, let me help. And Hugh's like, no, back off. You're going to get hurt. Whatever. You learn Diana can hack robots. And that's when the gameplay loop starts. Diana jumps on your back. You hack the robots with Diana as you're running around, and then you start shooting once Diana hacks, and then their weak points become available. And that's the basic premise of what happens at the beginning. That's all I'm going to give spoiler-wise. The gameplay loop is the same pretty much throughout in terms of battle systems, which I was worried was gonna get boring. I was really... No, it never did. Mainly because the hacking minigame is not a difficult one. You just have to think on your toes. You're it's that part of my multitasking brain where I'm like, I need to be focusing on moving and dodging while I'm also using X, triangle, circle, whatever to hack. And then I can start shooting. There's weapon management in there. Not akin to like Resident Evil with like storage management, but more so like, oh, I ran out of bullets on this specific weapon. I need to find another one because it's gone now if I don't have this. You do keep one main weapon that auto recharges ammo. So you'll never be without a weapon. But obviously, yeah, your main weapon is weaker than everything else you can get, like the shotgun, the drone missiles, etc. The gameplay loop never got boring. It was fun every single time, and they kept adding on to it. Different little quirks. There are some robots that are able to put up like little shields, so you can't hack them until you break their shields with your guns. You can't hit their body very well, and you do 1 damage to their body, but you can break those shields in a couple of shots. And then, all of a sudden, I can hack again, right? So they kept adding things to make it more interesting. I won't tell you about the last type of enemy they introduced because it is a spoiler. But it's one of the cooler and they're more difficult like fights in the game is towards the end where it just gets outright bananas. What I really have to say about this game, and this is not going to make sense on its surface level, but I need you to hear me out. This is a video game. Okay?
Okay.
This is a new IP, a fresh idea. Right? But somehow I felt nostalgic throughout the whole thing. You have a hub world, for example. You have a hub world. That hub world is completely interactive. There are things you do, things you find in the world show up in that hub world. I think that was shown in the trailer. REM data.
Yeah.
You can find a sand castle and it will appear in your base. You can talk to Diana in your base. There's this little robot named Cabin who it's making fun of battle passes. But there's a little stamp collection system where you collect these little cabin coins and you put a stamp on this board, and if you black out the bingo, you get new costumes and items for Diana and you.
Yay.
And there's a lot to do in that respect. On top of that, there is backtracking, but not in the way that it's annoying. Not like I'm all the way over here, but now I have to go all the way back over here to talk to this guy, blah, blah, blah. There are so many checkpoints throughout each of the 6 individual levels that, okay, I can't access to get this collectible now. Oh, but I'm on level 3 now and I got this power where I can. I know I can go back to this specific checkpoint on level 1 and go get that collectible I couldn't get before. And it becomes more satisfying in that way. It didn't feel like a chore. It felt like oh, shit, I can do this now, right?
Yeah.
Those nostalgic moments really like brought it together for me, in the sense of this is something new, but at the same time something refreshing to mess around with in a world that I really enjoyed. I don't love how short this game was though.
Yeah, tell everyone how long it took you to beat it from beginning to end. And you did most of the things.
I did most of the things. I gave up on the training simulators missions very early. Not very early. I got through probably 15 out of the 25 of them because then they just started getting bananas and stupid difficult. And I'm like, I just don't have time for this. It's not worth the effort. So after messing around and getting all the collectibles and all that, I think it clocked in about 12 and a half hours.
Okay.
When you do finish, they do say, hey, here's a whole new extra area. But all it is a training simulator light. You go back to the old areas, you refight a boss, and then you get to do these training simulators like where you essentially run and gun through an obstacle course. I haven't finished it yet, but it's not been on the top of my list to do. I'm like, okay.
And what's the replayability of the game? Like, do you feel like there's value in replaying it? Like, you'll get new stuff, you'll unlock things?
Yeah. I think there's replayability like there is in all Resident Evil. They added insanity mode, which is part of the trophies.
Okay. Are there like challenges that you complete and then you use those challenges to unlock new items that can be used in game?
Yes. Those are the training simulators I mentioned before.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of you have things called mods, and you also have different weapons, and you have hack abilities. And those are the 3 main things you unlock, and a lot of those are locked behind that stamp board I told you about. As well as more like data about the world and things that have happened, and robot information, etc. That's how you kind of get all that information. But on top of that, there are extra weapons hidden in there, and there are extra hack ideas.
You could theoretically get all those in like a one playthrough, right? Though, right? You said like the training simulators. You could do all the training simulators in one playthrough and be done, right?
You technically could, yes, with the exception of 2 weapons that are locked behind New Game Plus / the extra area that was added at the end.
Okay, so you could beat the game and then go to the New Game Plus / New area and have it. When I'm talking about like replayability and challenges, like Resident Evil specifically has like beat the game, beat it on this level, then beat it under 4 hours, then beat it without using health, then beat it. So like you have to play the game multiple times in order to unlock the special weapons and the special content. And like there's challenges to how you play the game to unlock those things.
There's only the insanity mode, which just unlocks new mods and unlocks new weapons, and that's about it. They don't do a timer. I think you could beat this game in about 4 hours or less if you really put your mind to it, but I'm kind of glad that's not there. I don't like speedrunning challenge and trophies. Shout out Resident Evil fans for what you guys do. Emily, shout out for you doing my RE7.
They're really not that hard, especially because you're never doing them your first playthrough, and they're not like real speedruns where you're like, oh, I'm running out of time. For the most part, if you just like, if you know what you're doing and you just go through it efficiently, you'll be fine.
Yeah. My main gripe with the length of the game, though, is not really necessarily related to the gameplay section of it. Though I would have enjoyed more levels and more areas to explore and more things to happen. More of it ties into the story specifically, because I mentioned at the beginning that Hugh essentially at the beginning says, I don't have children. I don't necessarily want children. Also, I don't like bots. And then he meets Diana and he's like, I'm not a babysitter. But other than that, I don't get any type of him like I would have liked to see more hesitation from him in the beginning, or leading up to as the levels go on to that more dad role. After that like interaction, he's just kind of instantly like, okay, I need this child to survive. This is my daughter now, and that's where it clicks. You do learn
no
things
real
about
build-up.
him. Yeah, you do learn things about him as you're going through the levels, and Diana's asking him questions about Earth and about his family life and all that. But you don't really get that. I was kind of hoping for some more tension.
Like The Last of Us.
Yeah. In terms of the story itself, I don't think the story is breaking any new ground. This is I will say the story is something we have seen before multiple times,
Okay.
right? The real draw and the real draw in terms of story comes from the interaction between Hugh and Diana and watching them grow closer and their interactions as father-daughter. That is the main draw to this whole thing. And Diana learning about Earth and learning about being human and all this, and breaking free essentially from her android tendencies. From the main story, when I say you have seen this before, Emily, I guarantee you probably read 3 books with the premise if you've read sci-fi books similar to this.
3 sci-fi books.
Yeah. So you probably read this type of premise before. I can't go too deep into it. But that relationship really draws you in. I mean, I have this pulled up. I had this pulled up ready to show everybody because I think it's too adorable and it's too worth it.
Aww.
Like, look how cute this thing, when you start interacting with Diana in your hub world and you talk to her enough, she makes you a drawing and stuff, and she keeps making you drawings. You get drawn to this child and this father-daughter relationship. And it was so endearing that even at the end scene, I don't say this a lot. I've said this about Expedition 33, and I'll say it about this game because it takes a lot for me to cry in media. I sat here dead silent, hands to my side, tears in my eyes. Like,
It's funny that she drew herself so well and so colorful and wrote her own name on it, but then she drew you like a white blob and didn't put your name on it.
like, you don't even see much of Hugh. Like, this is the most you see of Hugh. But most of the time his mask is down. Most of the time his mask is down, and that's it.
And that's fair. She just didn't write his name on it.
Yeah. There are very like father-like interactions that you see with Hugh though, and things getting closer. Like the beginning of one of the levels, there's this holographic cat that Diana goes running after, and she almost falls off a banister, and he has to catch her. It's like, what are you like? I like scold her like a child. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
this is the growth things that we're looking for. I'm not here for the story. I'm just here for these two.
I'm here for these.
I think the game. Oh yes, go ahead.
You have 5 minutes.
Oh, she's
This
kicking
is
me
a
off.
5-minute warning.
I have to wake up at 3 a.m. because I have to go to a work
No,
conference.
I have to leave my home at 3 a.m. and I'm not packed. And it's 9 p.m. now. So I am on a bit of a time crunch.
I have to do a little bit of my quick go. Here we go. I think this game is well worth it. I still think this game deserves more praise, and I really do hope we get more Pragmata games in the future. I don't think this should be the end. I don't think this should be a one and done IP. I think there's a lot that you can do with this whole idea.
A lot of potential here.
There is a ton of potential in where this series could go.
I mean, did they build the world enough, do you think, to put other games in the same universe?
I think they can put it in the same universe. Maybe not in the same not connected to this specific story, but like same universe, same idea of the lumen and the 3D printing and all that. So the filament and all that. I think it's very, very important to the world building itself, and we can get more things out of it. I really do think we can expand upon it. Capcom really just came out swinging with this. I think the 6-year wait was well worth it. I give this game a solid 8.5 out of 10.
Nice.
I think it was that good. I just wish it was longer, was my main complaint.
What
Also,
did you give Starfield?
What?
What did you rate Starfield?
Initially, I rated it a 7. If I'm actually thinking about it now, probably a 6.5, 6.
I thought you rated it an 8 something.
No, I didn't rate Starfield an 8. I would not give Starfield an 8. No way in hell I'd give Starfield an 8. I mean, when I replay it, because apparently they've made it better. We'll see. I have it on my shelf back there now for PlayStation 5, now that it's released. but I'm not doing that for a while. I have backlog to get through. So, Pragmata, I think it's worth your time. I've been talking to my friend Ferg and Chungo about it. They're both almost done.
Are you loving it?
Oh yeah, they're loving it. They're loving it. Also, collectibles don't suck to find. I did mention the backtracking side. After level 2, they give you a scanner, and it's like, oh hey, these collectibles are over here. You might not be able to get to them. They're still going to be kind of hard for you to find, but you have a general area of where you should be looking.
No, I don't like that.
Trust me.
You should have to work for it.
Em, you are going to eat those words when you play.
I don't think so. Listen, they have those in Resident Evil too, and you just have to listen to the sound of that raccoon. You just gotta listen to that bobblehead.
You don't get sound. Oh, they added bobbleheads to this game. I haven't found them all. That's one thing I didn't do because they don't tell you where those bobbleheads are. You actually have to search for those bobbleheads, and I haven't found them all. But yeah, there are bobbleheads to shoot.
What a Capcom game!
Last pro I have is, and then we'll go ahead and call it. The last pro I really have is the nice thing. There only being 6 areas and then your hub world. I don't have to go all the way through an area before I have to go back to the hub world. There are different checkpoints you can get to, and it takes you right back to the hub world. Like, hey, I'm low on health. I have no ammo in all these weapons. I'm out of mods because I'm out of hack mods or whatever. I need to quickly go back, stock up on health items, etc. Which those cartridges refill. You don't have to pay for them. I can quickly do upgrades while I'm here, get my upgrades, go back to that specific checkpoint, and then continue on with the rest of the level. So, and if you die, you just go straight back to the hub world, and you can just go back to the last checkpoint you were at. So, those are things that I enjoy. There's just accessibility things. I don't think everything needs to be a challenge where I lost an hour of progress just because I died. So.
Wait. Sorry, you said accessibility. Can I say one more thing about Baldur's Gate 3?
Sure.
It pissed me off that the map, everything on the map was so tiny, including the words, and when you zoomed in on the map, the words got smaller.
Yeah.
You can never make the words bigger, and there was no option in the accessibility features to make the things on the map bigger. And I have really bad eyesight, guys.
Emily's blind.
It's really hard for me to play this game a lot of the time.
Both Emily and my wife are almost legally blind.
Yeah, it was really rough. They did have the ability to turn like the font in the like subtitles up, but nothing in like the UI or the map could be turned up to larger. Anyway, that was my point. The accessibility was pretty bad. Anyway, that's all.
So, yep, that's my review of Pragmata. I think it's worth it. I will be bringing it to Emily to borrow.
Yes.
I don't expect her to play it until like next year, but
yeah, it's a shorter game, so it might make it this year. Especially as a break in between my longer games. It will probably honestly happen before Metaphor, or even maybe Final Fantasy 16.
Even though 16 is the shorter of them all.
You said Pragmata was only like 15 hours.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hours.
No, sorry. Not compared to 16. Not compared to 16. 16 is 40 hours. Yes, but shorter than Metaphor. 16 is just shorter than Metaphor and P3 by a long shot, and Baldur's Gate.
Which is why it might move up the list.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to check it out. It looks really good.
It is wonderful. Yeah, Emily, you'll enjoy it. I think you'll enjoy it. Even though you're not big into shooty games, I think you'll enjoy it.
I do enjoy a good parent simulator brought to me by Capcom.
Also,
with my little child.
I will say, shout out to it not being like God of War or the other dad simulator that I can't think of the name of right now, where you're just an angry, pissed off dad all the time scolding your child 24/7. Like, thank you for making it endearing. Yeah, Last of Us. Like, thank you for making it, like, endearing.
He does not yell at Ellie all the time. They're best friends and they love each other. You would know because you never made it past 3 hours into the game.
That's true. We need to fix that. Anywho, Emily has to go and pack. She has to be up at 1 a.m. because she has to fly. Your flight's at 3, or you have to be at the airport at 3?
I have to leave for the airport at 3.
Oh, then you don't have to be up till 2 a.m. Emily has to be up in, it's 9 o'clock your time, like 6 hours, 5 hours. Okay, that's going to be it for us. Remember, kids, play Pragmata. I don't have any fun quips this time, and go to Blake Bluster and get a DVD.
Go to Blake Bluster. That actually is a tongue twister now that you've added the second L in there, and I actually don't like it anymore because I couldn't
Buster.
say it.
The Blake Bluster was an accident. It is Blake Buster.
I can't get it. Blake Bluster. I can't do it. You're gonna have to rename it. Anyway, play video games. Thanks for hanging out.
Bye, everyone. Have a good night. Okay, goodbye. Okay, bye-bye.